Hello, welcome to another videos for the Human Comedy Maggiore Circuit 1 hour. And this is a group free race, BOP on and tuning is prohibited. And you can use a racing hard tire or racing medium tire for this race. From the introduction it said you can either choose the medium tire and 2-pit stop strategy or a hard tire for the one-stop strategy. I have the third choice. I will choose the medium tire and I will have only one pit stop for this race. And actually I use the racing medium tires for around 16 laps, and the fuel map is always set to 1. And just a little bit stop flip is enough for the fuel saving. I actually pit at lap 16, and from lap 10 the racing medium tire wear will become lower than 50%, and the car will become very tricky to drive, so make sure I don't make any mistake, no spinning or no crash the car, because the AI are a little bit fast. I think the average lap time below 1 minute and 58 seconds should be okay for this race. Let's get started. And I choose a Nissan GTR Nismo 2018 model for this race. This car is quite fun to drive, but very tricky because this car will spin easily. I mean, at the point the power will come suddenly because of the turbo boost. If we can control the turbo boost with the throttle, I mean this car is quite easy to drive. And this is actually my second attempt, because when I do this race my first time, I only get in place because I'm running out of fuel in the lap 28 or something, so I have to pit again and refill, and everyone will pass. So this is my second attempt. I make sure I don't run out of fuel in this race. And the P6 BMW is always the winner of this race, so make sure you get in front of that car. And in lap 2, I'm able to catch up with that BMW and pass him at this corner. My fuel map is always set to 1, and always check the fuel consumption. Make sure I can make it to the lap 16 for the pit stop. In order to save the fuel, I shift it a little bit faster. You can see I just shift to 6th gear before it ran to the red zone. And in lap 6, I'm able to catch up the Super in the P1. I'm just able to pass him from the outside. This is a very tricky move, very dangerous move, because sometimes the CPU may push you out of the track. And at lap 11, P2, P3 and P4 are all going inside the pit for the tire change. So the new P2, P3 and P4 are in hard tire, and we are both doing a one pit stop strategy, and they are going to change their tire from hard to hard, and I'm going to change my tire from medium to medium. So I only worried about those medium tire CPU and see how many seconds behind the leader after I pit at the lap 16. So this field lap is very important. I should keep my lap time and do not make any mistake. And in lap 12, the tire wear is dropping below 50% and the car is starting to slide. Just like this corner, I almost spin the car, so I have to carefully control the throttle. And then in lap 16, the tire wear is now dropped to around 30%, and the car is really difficult to drive now. And I'm now 2.5 seconds lower than my father's lap. And then P2 and P3 using hard tire are now in the pit stop, and I decide to go one more lap. This is the last lap before I pit, so see how I drive this lap. This is really difficult to drive. And even the 1.27 update, the freezing problem is still not resolved. I really hope PD can do something for this, because this is impossible to have the daily race with this freezing problem. And then I pit in lap 16 with 37 seconds lead, and change to medium tires and fuel to 100%. Okay, enter the pit stop, tire change, and refuel. Thank you for the guy who filling the gasoline, because I think the red bottle is a little bit healthy. Not a little bit, it's very healthy. And he have to hold it how many times? 24 seconds, 25 seconds. And while with in the pit stop, there's 3 cars pass us. Okay, pit stop spent around 54 seconds, and BMW is now in front of us. So my job is to close the gap between P1, because because they have more fuel, they may have their pit stop for around 40 seconds. So the gap between B and P1 is inside 40 seconds, so I will regain the P1 when they pit. Okay, never mind, they are using hard tire, so the main target is the BMW, and I'm just 2.4 seconds behind him, and he has to go inside the pit. So if I don't make any mistake, I may win this race. And then in lap 19, I have the fastest lap of this race at this moment. I know it is not a very fast lap really, but I hope if you can get something from this lap, I will be happy. And then in lap 20, P2 are going inside the pit. And all I have to do is to drive safety. Not to make any mistake, not to spin the car, not to crash. And there are only 10 seconds left for this race, so lap 31 is actually the final lap for this race. And the other cars are all one lap done because they are still having their lap 30. So when they cross the finish line, their race will finish just like this. So they are all one lap done. And my 8th victory for this race is confirmed. I think the key to win this race is the time management, fuel management, and the consistency of the lap time. In my opinion, get a go in circuit experience first to remember the course and practice more. This is not an easy one, but it is not very difficult to get a win in this race. Also, there are different strategies like two pit stop with the medium tires, but you have to drive faster, like 1 minute and 54 or 55 to make sure you get a victory. Also, you can have 20 laps for hard tire and the final 10 laps for the medium tires. There's many different strategies, so just find a strategy that's suitable for you and enjoy the race. Hope you have fun for this video and thank you for watching.